think we're live.
I think we are.
Okay, I'm gonna have to pull up our our YouTube account so I can tweet out the link.
Oh, super professional.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna see it until we go live. Here we go. Share. Let's see. Come on. All right, there we go. I tweeted it from the podcast account. Did you already tweet the graphic, John?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. I didn't see it until just now. Okay. Chill for a second. Let's see if anyone joins. I see you're wearing your lucky kit.
Well, so funny story. Forgot to put it on. Like I was wearing a different kit until halftime, and I was like, "Oh crap!" It's not really a lucky kit. I call it my perspective kit. Like I wear it because I'm like, if things go wrong, then I just look at my shirt and I'm like, okay, things have been worse. And then yeah, then they scored again, and I was like, okay, what is this? What is this shirt? I guess perspective. And then yeah, stuff happened.
You could never have convinced me that we were coming back from 2-0 down.
Honestly, my thought when Ilkay Gundogan scored the winner, what turned out to be the winner, my thought was it's too soon. Like we've scored too early. We're in the lead too early. Too much can happen in the remaining, what was it, 12, 14, 16 minutes at that point. Too many. Yeah. Can you see if anyone's watching, by the way?
We had one for a second, and then it went down to 0.
Oh.
I'm tagging all the other accounts so we can just get this party started.
Yeah, we're there.
We got one right now. I guess I should pull up our YouTube just so I can look at it.
It's there. It's there. It's definitely live on.
No, I know it's live. I'm just worried about if I can't see chat. I'll move you over here so I look at the right camera. There we go. 1920 Noisy Pod City Extra City Report. Blue Moon.
I think that's all the cartel. Oh my gosh, this might be less of a celebration. Sorry, less of a celebration and more of like a adrenaline siphoning at this point. Oh my god. Not least because two people.
I was so convinced we were gonna absolutely blow that. I was like, we're gonna not score, and Liverpool are, and it's gonna be terrible.
Honestly, I think that, like, you know, the way that it happened, I think was helpful. Like, if it happened any other way, I don't think we win that game. Like, in terms of like, if we scored first, they equalised, and then they scored again, don't think we're winning that game. If they scored first, we equalised, then they score again, we're not winning that game. Them scoring twice, and it was just being like, okay, we just have to attack and hope for the best. And the best happened. People are just kind of watching us, just kind of.
They're watching us get ready to go live. We do have. Let me share this comment. How do I do that? No, I don't want to report or block. How do I share it? Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Here we go. There we go. Indeed, woo the one. Indeed, woo. And also, champions, baby.
Champions, baby. My God, why did this is the problem with so many of City's champions. Kind of, the overwhelming feeling is just complete exhaustion and relief rather than elation. Immediately, at least. Yeah, my hair is a mess. I think it's going to be tearing it out for the majority of the game.
I was just slapping the bar repeatedly while we were waiting. Let's wait a couple more minutes and we can start chatting. Do you know? Did Joe say he would join us? I know he said he doesn't have much of a voice, but
I think he. Yeah, I think he. Yeah, I'm not sure if he can watch or what. But
Jay Wolf just liked our tweet.
There we go.
You trying?
Jay Wolf, big time film TV podcast producer.
Indeed, that's what I'm saying. We can get people together.
Mm-hmm. I literally quoted that right off his bio, by the way.
Is that what he said?
That's literally what his bio says.
I appreciate that. We end the fight. We did. We waited until 7 minutes from full time to end the fight, but we did it.
We didn't begin the fight until the 74th minute.
Yeah.
Which was kind of part of the problem here.
Factos.
Oh my gosh.
I truly had no faith that we were going to score anything until truly.
Oh, the lads are in. They're here. Shades of Blue in the house.
I saw Shades of Blue. Let me send them. I think I forgot to send them a link. I can fix that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so you watched it at home, right, John?
I did watch it at home, and
I envy you. I was in a bar of fans of all teams, and it was not good
for a while. I imagine, but I imagine the payoff at the end was pretty amazing. I mean, yeah, I watched it at home, and I've gotten to the point where I don't like listening to the commentary of City games anymore, and it's not necessarily because I think there's an agenda or anything like that. It's just that it gets to me for some reason. So I have a much better time watching with the sound off. So yeah, I watched it with the sound off for the most part until, we'll talk through the game in a minute, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I get you. Leading up to the match when they announced that Arlo and Lee Dixon were going to be at the Etihad and Rebecca and the two Robbies were going to be at Anfield, I almost wish that we just gotten Peter Drury for the commentary, because I would have preferred what he would have told us about this. I prefer, I weirdly, and maybe we got our first joiner, Crunk Chocolate from Shades of Blue. What's up, buddy?
Let's go!
Let's go! Oh man,
how you feeling, mate?
How's it going? I'm making. Whoa, let's turn my vocals. I will not scream at you guys.
You're fine now. You're fine now. It's good.
You're good.
What are you making?
Tacos.
Ooh.
Do
sound good. It's a good way to celebrate.
Oh,
so how are nerves? How are your nerves, buddy? Were you confident like I was, or were you freaking out the first half like I was?
I was a mess. Yeah, it was tough. Did a live stream with the other Shades of Blue potters, so at least we were kind of misery together. So that was good, I think. No, I was with Andrew. I knew we needed to make some subs. I didn't I didn't think we could score with the players that were on. I seriously was like, make subs at the beginning of the half, like change things, getting Farna out because everyone, they knew you could just kick it up there. Worst case, if they're struggling, and 50-50 with Farna. He's shaky warrior. Like, as much as I love the man, like, that's not where he should be. Like, it's nothing. And that's where they were getting him. And once they got him out, and Zenny, I don't know where that footwork came from. I don't know where he learned that. Maybe he's just tired of Cancelo doing all the chatting. I don't know, but I'm here for it.
I mean,
I'm just,
yeah,
yeah.
I I kind of only saw the second goal highlight maybe once because I was jumping around the room, but I still was it Zinni who assisted it and not Phil?
I'm with you, John, because I was in a bar and lost my brain as soon as the goal went in. So I literally can only tell you that Gundogan scored the first one, and then he scored the third one, right? Like, that's all I can think of. I don't know who scored or who assisted Rodri's goal. Rodri just placed it in the bottom of the net. And also, welcome to the stream, Charlie.
How's it going, everybody?
Also, I do need to highlight this comment before it gets lost, because as much as the media and Liverpool fans wanted to make the narrative be that Gerrard was going to hand Liverpool the title that he could never deliver as a player, turns out that that was not the case.
I mean, they tried their best, to be fair.
They did.
I think, yeah, credit to Villa in terms of actually their performance today. They took the game to City. Yeah, the lineup wasn't great in terms of the defensive wise, and I think they rectified that at halftime. But
do we want to start there? Maybe, like, let's organize this a little bit. Because I said, I was like, I can live with this lineup. John, you were a little more nervous than I was.
I was a lot more nervous than you were. You were not nervous at all.
No, I wasn't. And to be fair, why were we nervous? We won. What was I to be nervous about?
Come on, man. This is not. No. I'm not having that.
No, you're 100% right. In retrospect,
anything
yeah,
can.
so,
This is the thing though. Anything can happen in 90 minutes of football. You know, a lineup decision can really backfire. A refereeing decision can go against you. Villa missed a sitter at 1-0 as well. I mean, it eventually ended up being 2-0, but like, yeah, that Watkins chance is like a sliding doors moment. But yeah, I mean, you were way too confident for a City fan before the game, Andrew. I'm sorry.
Look, here's my stance. We have never lost the final game of the season when we needed to win it.
And there is a first time for everything.
There is a first time for everything. But, like, this is the closest we've come to that other than QPR. So I guess maybe the 10-year bookends make sense. But, yeah, I mean, so the lineup drops, and it's Stones at right back, Fernandinho, Laporte at center back, and Cancelo at left back, and everything else kind of made sense, other than I wanted Sterling instead of Mahrez. Charlie, how about you? Like, because my thought on this was, I was like, oh, well, at least Cancelo's at left back, where I think he's been better for us this season. But also Fern is at center back, which I don't love.
So when I first saw the lineup drop out here on the West Coast, I was shocked that Sterling didn't get the start. I just thought you needed him to, get to the byline to do what he does against against Luca Digne, who likes to get forward. And then Fernandinho starting surprised me because I'm like, I saw the pictures of Stones training all week, and so it's like, if he's training, why isn't he out there? And as Crump knows, like, I've been a huge Zinchenko supporter all season. Like, that is my guy. And to see him not get the start, that was a little worrying. So it was definitely like, what are we doing, Pep? When the lineup dropped.
Yeah, I mean, I think I get the thought, but if Walker was on the bench, I feel like we didn't need to start Ferna. Or like if Zinchenko was healthy, we didn't need to start Ferna.
I think it was just actually we were all a bit blindsided because the fact that Walker might have been able to play came into our consciousness a little bit sooner than the Stones news did. So like
Yeah.
we were like, okay, it's going to be, if one of them's going to play, it's going to be Kyle. And then Stones news was later on. So in our heads, it was like, okay, John might make it like a very outside chance, and if John was going to play, then Kyle was going to play. So then when Stone started and Kyle Walker's on the bench, yeah, I think that just threw me for a loop at that point. So I for me, like, for some reason I didn't even consider putting Cancelo at right back and Zinchenko at left back, because I was like, oh yeah, we need a right back. I was like, could we play 3 at the back? Which might have made sense, and Bernardo playing at right wing back. Bernardo played defensive midfield pretty much the entire time as well. So for me, was very, very nervous when the lineup came out.
I was going to say, can I get mad at the Man City admin for posting in the first place? Like, I know they didn't know that Walker wouldn't play, but it's like they put the hope in us in the first place. So I'm just mad at you for doing your job. Great job.
Yeah, the fact if you look at what Kyle Walker was wearing on the bench, and it's like, yeah, that guy's not coming on.
Yeah, he was not coming on. But I mean, I don't know about all of you, but I felt okay about the first 15 or 20 minutes. Like, I didn't feel like City were playing poorly. It felt like we were getting chances, just like kind of last ditch tackles and last ditch blocks. And then we get, in the 37th minute.
We were nervous. I felt like we were panicky. There were so many kind of before the last ball, that were overhit. Cancelo had a nightmare.
It was not
possibly
good.
His worst game to City, I would say. And when, as you say, Andrew, that 37th minute, Charlie, I don't know how you felt about it, but I could see Matt Cash coming in from the right wing. I could see Cancelo not knowing where he was, and I was like, this is not good. This is going in. This is Jamie Mackey all over again.
Yeah, so sadly, I had a personal situation come up this morning, so I couldn't watch it live. I hopped on our watch along probably around the 40th minute, but I had got the notification that we're down. And once I saw the replay, I'm just like, here we go again. It reminded me of Benzema coming in the Champions League, just getting inside the left back. Except this time it was an even better, cleaner finish from Matty Cash. And Matty Cash, he's never doing good things. He always messes up. So for him to get the goal, I was like, okay, this is everything against us right now? It's hard to take.
Yeah. Crunk, I don't know if you kind of had a deja vu moment even at that stage, from 2011, 2012, in terms of just, those feelings, especially when that second goal went in. Kind of how were you feeling at that point when Coutinho scores and you're like, okay, ex-Liverpool player scores for ex-Liverpool manager, basically give Liverpool a title? How are you feeling at that point?
Oddly enough, once the second goal came in, I became oddly optimistic, and only because they had just did it the week before. And so I was just maintaining, and it was funny because we had no idea kind of how to feel. So there was a moment where I was like, oh my God, this is going apart. But then I looked and I saw that Wolves was still tied. So I was like, this sucks, because we're kind of reliant on another team for our destiny at the moment. But that gave me enough hope where I was like, all right, anything can happen. And, Pep made the subs. Good on him for immediately going for it. The fact that he was like, we need this change, because I feel like last week he waited and waited and waited and waited, and good on him for not waiting and being like, we need to do this. And good on the team for taking advantage of the situation and making the proper adjustments and getting on. And once I got the one, I was ready. I was running around. By the time the third one scored, I was just delirious. That's all I could explain. That's the only word I could use.
I will say, I think we're glossing over a period of time. I mean, City made all three of their subs by the 68th minute, which is like unheard of for Pep Guardiola. I mean, to me, the halftime sub of Fernandinho felt like an admission by Pep that he had messed up. Like that was a like mea culpa, like this isn't working. And then, I mean, to make a 56-minute sub of Mahrez, who has been one of City's best players, but also, as I've heard talked about on lots of podcasts, when Mahrez is not on it, Mahrez is entirely invisible. And that's how I felt about him the entire match. Like I never felt like Mahrez was coming up with like a moment or that he was going to get involved in the game. And so to bring on Sterling, who I feel like even at his worst helps create for other people, which he then does in setting up a beautiful goal for Gundogan, who also comes on for Bernardo. I mean, Pep nailed these subs. And honestly, like probably like those subs win City the title.
For sure. I mean, for me, I had, the subs were like, okay, he's trying, he's trying, he's like, okay, we need to do something about this. We need to change the method of attack, whatever it is. And then the third sub came on, and that was the one I was like, ooh, I'm not sure about that one. Gundogan for Bernardo, like.
I mean, it felt like me, it made sense because at that point, Villa were just sitting, like they were just so compact that you need Gundogan's kind of late runs into the box.
I don't disagree with Gundogan coming on. I thought Grealish would have been unlucky in that kind of sense as well, but I appreciate Gundogan's finishing ability. But yeah, taking Bernardo off, I thought was a really interesting call. Massive moment, and especially when literally they went up the other end and scored the second, like within seconds of.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's a minute later.
Yeah, of Bernardo coming off, and so you're like, well, that one's backfired. Game's over, and that I think that's the lowest I've been as a City fan for a long time. When Coutinho scores, it's like my boss.
I don't want to air out the 9320. Or not 9320, the Main Road Ramble kind of texting that was going on during that. But Joe said, like, City don't deserve to win this title at this point, like when that second goal goes in, which I don't think he's wrong about at that point. Like, if City do not come back and we lose that game and Liverpool go on to win, like, I think that is a very fair criticism of you are at home, you're against a mid-table side in Villa. You have all of the advantages and you just let you go down 2-0 and you don't put shots on target. I mean, so the first half, we only had 0.58 XG. Now, mind you, Villa only had 0.23 and had one goal off of it and then got a second goal, which their second half XG was 0.09. Like that second goal is absurdly low chance to go in, but it does. But like, I mean, if City had lost, like I would have been upset that Liverpool probably won a quadruple, but I would have been like, we threw that away.
Yeah. And I think, taking, just could go back to taking Mahrez off as well. I think with him missing that penalty last week, and, in the end, Liverpool won. So like that wouldn't, that kind of didn't really matter. But like it didn't give us the cushion that we maybe needed. Actually, Liverpool winning doesn't make a difference in that scenario. But if City come into this 3 points ahead, then I think, and we don't win it, then a lot of eyes go to Mahrez at that point, unfortunately. Crunk, did you kind of feel anything about any of the subs that you were like, don't like that, or would have rather had this player come on at this point?
So I was very happy to see Riyad get taken off. I understand why Pep put him on for the possession part, but it was obvious Aston wanted to run with us, and us deciding to go possession honestly plays in the other team's hand, and that's why I wanted a Raheem. So when he made the proper subs, you could kind of see where we could run with them, and then the fullbacks of Aston weren't able to push as far ahead because they had to be worried about if City were able to take the ball from them and push the ball back up the field. Having that what if that in your ear, that's scary. They don't necessarily have that fear with Mahrez. Even defensively, he's not really gonna press as hard, so you're gonna have those extra few seconds. I think Pep nailed it. He made the right choices, and they were all attacking choices. Normally, he kind of just tries to keep everything the way that it is, but he was like, "Hey, we need you guys to go out and win the match." And good on him for putting in the right players and the players having the right mindset to attack.
Looking at the stats, maybe I'm crazy in this. I felt like there was a much larger time span between Gundogan scoring the first goal and Roger scoring the second. Apparently, Roger scored in the 78th minute. I would have sworn those were like 5 to 6 minutes apart. But so Gundogan scores the first one, which was just like such a good header caused by, Sterling and Gundogan combining, Charlie, I think is, great and is very much a vindication of Pep's subs. But like at that point, were you confident or were you like, well, maybe we got one back, but like, who knows? Like I still was not confident.
So quick, going back probably like 5 minutes before that, once Coutinho scores, I instantly turned to the Liverpool match because I was so like just out of it. I was like, I can't watch right now. I need to see my own fate. If it's in Wolves' hands, let me see what they do. And honestly, I don't know if you guys have seen a replay yet. Wolves had a counter. Raul got it into the box and just missed the runner. And like I was like, oh my God, that changes everything.
So I was watching at my local pub, Chatham Tap, shouts. And so what they do on final day is they put they have, I think, 7 TVs. And so each TV has one game on it. And so they will provide like a spot to watch everything. And City was at the main TV behind the bar. So I was sat at the bar, but right to the TV on the left upper corner next to the bar was the Liverpool Wolves match. So I could watch both simultaneously. And I'm with you of like, we give up that second and Wolves almost score right after that. And I was just like, please, for the love of God, Wolves, because at that point I have no confidence. There was one Wolves fan at the bar. His name's Al. Shouts Al. I literally told him, I was like, if you pull this off and we lose this game, but you win, I'm paying for every drink you ever try to bar here ever again, because I had no confidence in City's ability at that point.
Yeah, but I was super confident once I saw how we started like attacking in the second half. Like we were getting, transition play was excellent. We got down to the final third really easily. We had a couple corners that didn't come off, but it was like you could tell, like, okay, they're going to score. I didn't know if it was going to be 3, but I'm like, we're going to get at least one back and make this very interesting. And so go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I felt like my thought was like, if we could, I kept saying prior to Coutinho scoring, and what was that, like the 69th minute, I kind of, when we come back out in the second half, I was like, if we can just get one by the 65th minute, like I'm confident in us, because I feel like if we can peg Villa back, they're a little bit on the beach. Like clearly they came to play today, but like they're not fully up for it. They have a backup goalkeeper in. If we have 35 minutes to work, or 25 minutes to work with, like cool. And then they score in the 69th minute, and I'm like, shit. But then we score in the 76th minute, and it was such a good goal. And then Rodri, which by the way, John, I'm looking at the stats. Zinchenko did get the assist on Rodri's goal. So Gundogan's first goal was prior, like at the shot, was a 30.37 xG. Post shot, it's 0.56, so it's a pretty good chance. It's one of City's 3 big chances. So we're back in it. And then Rodri.
Calmest man in the world, by the way.
So Rodri's goal pre-shot is a 0.07 xG.
Okay.
Post shot is still only 0.34. So like not expected to go in, but that thing was so well placed.
Yeah.
It goes past into the net.
Yeah, he passed it into the net, and to be able to do that from in that situation.
That's what, he's like 25-ish yards out, probably right at the top of the box.
18 then.
Well, but it was a few yards back, so I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah,
kind of
20-ish.
25 to 18, somewhere in there. I mean, that was not an easy shot.
No, not at all. And Villa had been like throwing their bodies in front of the ball all game. But yeah, that was the crucial goal for me. I think giving ourselves 12 minutes plus stoppage time to find a winner psychologically for Villa, like that was, I think, 2/3 of it done in some respects. Yeah, and then Gundo, what a guy! What a week that guy's had, by the way. Just like, yeah, rumors that he's leaving City. No, actually, I'm just gonna go to Rome and get married. And then no, actually, I'm gonna come back and I'm just gonna score 2 and win the league for City on Sunday. And none of you are ever gonna want me to leave ever again.
Lifetime contract for Ilkay Gundogan. Who disagrees?
I agree. And is he the captain next year? Like, does he become the captain?
If he doesn't leave, I think he should be.
I think, yeah, it'll be interesting because they do have a vote, the players vote at the start of each season. So I think Ruben was pretty high up last year. It's a difficult one because De Bruyne leads by example every single game he plays. Gundogan is going to feature less and less. So again, it's kind of more of a Fernandinho kind of dressing room captain role. And then Ruben, who is just a leader as well. So it's like there are multiple ways you could see the captaincy. It's probably an interesting discussion for another pod.
I mean, so my thought on that is, though, John, is that the kind of I get kind of what you're saying, but like Kev, I think sometimes will yell at players when like he's not playing well, and so like I think Kev is absolutely a leader on the pitch, but I don't know that he's necessarily like ever going to be City's captain. I mean, if you ask me now, I think Gundogan is the clear successor to Ferna if he doesn't leave, and then I think after that it's Dias. And I think there are a couple other players maybe ahead of KDB. Of like KDB's clearly the talisman for City, but I don't know that he's the captain. Like it just I don't know that role. He's always going to be one of the 4, but I don't know that he is the guy that should be considered like the leader of the dressing room. And you know, it to me it sucks that Ferna, who I think is one of maybe City's best ever captains, you know, obviously gets to raise this Premier League trophy, but to not maybe have the shot at the UCL that I think we all were hoping we would have sucks. But I think Gundogan, similarly, if he stays next season and we can maybe get that UCL across the line, like for a guy like Gundogan, like I remember him crying on the pitch against Tottenham when we go out. Like Ilkay has given so much to this club, and I really hope he doesn't leave this summer because I would love to give him kind of one last ride at the top level. And let him have that trophy.
And I think I always go back to Kevin that let me talk whenever the whole like captaincy thing, like maybe it is best that you don't, give him that armband because it's best if the ref can say, I choose to ignore you because you don't have that armband.
Yeah, no,
that's it.
Like, I love Kev. I think just sometimes I think his emotions get a little bit of the best of him sometimes and make me nervous if he were ever to be like the guy. But yeah, that second goal goes in from Rodri, and so John, I think so. Did all 3 of you watch at home? Yeah, so I was watching like in a pub where it was probably 25% City, 25% Liverpool, and then the rest of the bar is like a mix of Chelsea, Burnley, Arsenal, Spurs, like everybody. And obviously, like some of the stuff is going on to where the other matches are interesting. But like at that point, Spurs are so far ahead of Norwich. Like there's no chance Arsenal. So like everyone's kind of watching City on the main screen and then the Liverpool Wolves match. And I mean, it was like at that point, like, we're 2-0 up or we're tied at 2-2. Liverpool had not yet scored their second. I think they scored like 2 or 3 minutes after Rodri's score.
I think it's actually Gundogan's goal, actually.
So they scored the 84th minute. So yeah, so they scored their second one right after Rodri put his, not right after, but like 6 minutes after Rodri put his.
Yeah, but Gundogan scored before that.
Did he?
Gundogan scored 82.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we're already up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Eight.
City go up, and then Liverpool come back, and so at that point, like, it truly was basically like, do City give one up? Do Liverpool get it? Like, everybody's watching that, and the nerves in that bar. I mean, we went nuts when Gundogan's second goal goes in, but I was just like, for the love of God, do not give one up at this point.
Yeah, I as I was saying, and kind of before we really got going here, like, it's my first instinct. My first reaction was obviously, I can't believe that we turned this around. But my instantaneous second reaction was like, it's too early. Like, there is still at least 8 minutes plus 10 stoppages left. We can still very easily screw this up.
I was really concerned that we started going to the corner around like the 88th minute, 89th minute. And I was like, couldn't we just get the fourth and get this over with? And like, I'm always worried about a ball just coming out. And now we're caught on the counter, like you said, John, like giving up that third goal. So it was very nervy that last 5 minutes. And once we got into stoppage time, I was okay. I was like, Ederson's going down, Phil's going down. Like, we'll see this out. I was surprised though that Anthony Oliver didn't give out more stoppage time because of those injuries. I thought it was going to go to like 95 or 96.
I feel like if people stop playing in the in stoppage time, like, it never happens. Oh, we have a very special guest. It's Jay Wolf making his return to the podcast. Jay,
very special. Hey guys.
Jay, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Has your adrenaline stopped pumping, or are you still?
I feel like I'm still up here. I was just listening to you guys, talking about it. It was just, I think my words are still in here. I have a video I kind of wanted to share with you guys. Is there a way for me to do that on this thing?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Okay, Robin took
you
a
should
video.
You should be able to screen share. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna work on that. You guys keep talking.
I was gonna say, so I got one of the 9320 kind of anniversary kits, and I wore it for like good luck.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I cursed us because like,
so
I didn't think we were gonna need a 3-2 comeback to win the league.
I think I went through. Here's the story. I think I went through every kit I have here, and a lot of my kits. I have I live in New York, so I don't have all of my things in one apartment. So I have a storage unit that has a lot of my other stuff. So I think I have 4 kits here. At one point during the match, I was wearing each one of them, and then I took all of them off successively. And so if I can figure out how to get this video to play, I think I can. So what happened was, at this point in the game, I had taken off all of my kits. I have City shorts. I had taken those off too. I put back on regular shorts. I'm not wearing a shirt, so caution me where you don't see very much. But I had literally taken off every piece of City equipment I had. We were 2-2. H265. No, that didn't work. Well, that was a big build up for nothing to happen. Hang on, let me see if I can make this work.
If you,
but honestly,
I'm able to share it.
Here, let me see.
But we had a very similar thing happen with our viewing party. Tom Baum changed his kit to the 9321 once City were down 2-0. So then once City scored once, Tom Baum goes, "Hey, you all need to change your shirts now." So we all sprinted and changed our shirts, and then got the second. And Tom Baum was like, "Do we change again?" And I was like, "No, we don't change anything. Like, we're going good. We're gonna score this. We're gonna be champions. We got this, guys."
All right. So this was immediately after the Gundo second goal.
This is amazing. Your dog is looking more and more disturbed as this video goes on.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
This is brilliant.
Jay, the two best parts of this video are one, that your
You're
girlfriend
naked.
captured this.
Yeah.
I assume it was her. But two, your dog who has no idea what's going on.
She was so afraid of me the whole match because like I just kept shouting and screaming and running and walking, back and forth throughout my apartment, as I imagine many of you did. And like Oakley was so confused and so afraid of me. But anyway, yeah, that was my morning. How are you boys?
So we were talking. So I was at a pub, unlike anybody else who was on this podcast. So I was miserable because I could watch all of the other matches, including Liverpool, like easily, and I had Liverpool fans like excited. And welcome to the show, Joe Butters, who's calling in live from Manchester, our local correspondent.
Oh shit!
Have the streets been painted blue?
Yeah, it's funnily enough, it's grey sky. So sorry, Manchester at its finest. But,
and our Philadelphia correspondent Bill also joins.
Whoa! Do not associate me with the city of Philadelphia. Come on.
I'm just
What's
kidding.
up, everyone?
Columbus
How we doing?
correspondent.
I will happily take the title of Columbus correspondent in large part because I live here. But yeah, what are we talking about?
Well, Jay just shared an incredible video of himself just losing his mind to Ilkay Gundogan winning us a title. And then I was asking Joe if Manchester is on fire in blue flames, but apparently not, sadly.
Well, listen, as we all know, per request of Pep Guardiola, every United supporter is wearing blue today because they wanted to make sure Liverpool did not win the league. So it should.
Oh no! Oh
yeah, we heard should we, and then we heard you swallowing your water at that point, Bill. That's
hell yeah, let's go. I'm listen, my brain is going a million miles an hour. I apologize.
I think that's all City fans right now. Joe, Joe, were you at 9320 in person?
No, I was in university when that happened. I didn't have a season ticket, so I was I had to watch that on a stream from my university halls, which a stream which after 2-2 went down. So I had to listen to the very ending on radio the old-fashioned way, and so I didn't see it. I didn't witness it. I was there for all the celebrations afterwards, but I didn't actually get to physically watch it as it happened. So yeah, this one brought back a lot of painful memories for the first sort of 70 minutes of the game that I honestly I don't really appreciate. I'd rather they just did it the normal way.
Yeah, I was going to say, so we kind of all already chatted about this before Jay, Joe, and Bill joined. So Jay, I'm curious. Were you getting like 93-20 PTSD of like we're 2-0 down? Like,
it was always going to be 3-2 as what I think was going to happen. Like it being the 10-year anniversary. I mean, I remember 10 years ago, I was in Brooklyn also, and I was watching the match in a pub, and I was the only City fan, and I was wearing like an Aguero kit. And I remember like pulling off my kit and tearing it around my head and screaming. And this was like the sort of place that showed football, but also had like brunch. And so there was like a lot of people really kind of uncomfortable with what I was doing. And this was a similar experience as you saw in that video. Like my dog didn't know what to do. My girlfriend was sitting there like filming me being like, is this a normal reaction? Like you're hyperventilating. Like, are you okay? And for me coming into this one, I thought I was of two minds, and I'm sure you guys sort of had the same feeling, but I was like, we're either going to win 7-0 or we're going to win like at the last second and it's going to be 2-1 or 3-2 or whatever. And like at the end of the day, I just feel like when we came back to 1-2, when it was 2-0 to Villa, like I was just like just in a, I was just pacing like as sort of Pep and all of us do, just like kind of sitting there like, okay, well, this.
I lost all faith in our ability to come back when they cut to Pep on the bench.
Yeah.
And he was just like he sat down like this.
Yeah.
Like not even like angrily crushing a water bottle like I feel like he does when we can come back, but he was just like.
I kind of feel like that's what made them do it. Like it almost felt to me like.
I'm not angry, I'm disappointed.
The guys on the pitch saw Pep and were like, oh, we fucked up. And then they're like, okay, we should fix this. And that's what happened. Like, I mean, and also the subs were, I mean,
I was gonna say Pep basically subbed in like his 3 kind of like guys because like Zinchenko, like I feel like Pep has to love a guy like Zinchenko who could have left and was like, nah, I'm gonna make it.
Mhm.
And then you got Sterling who like is coming to his own under Pep, and you have literally his first signing, like the guy he told City to go get, Ilkay Gundogan.
well, I'm curious
all
what you
three of
guys think, and maybe you already went through this, but like I love. And I'm so happy for Fernandinho and like that he was able to be a part of this match, all of that stuff. But like for me, Fernandinho was always like an 85th minute. We've got the game locked up. Bring him in.
Yep.
So, no,
like get.
He's a closer.
I was still confident, but I was like, why are we playing him? We have other people on the bench. Can they not play?
And I remember in minute 6, I remember being like, I don't like Stones at right back. Like I don't know that any of us have ever liked Stones at right back. So that was a little bit confusing for me.
I mean, I liked him more at right back when we have Fernandinho on the pitch because it's at least another competent defender. But it's not like I'm like, yeah, I want John Stones on the pitch at right back.
It was a fun novelty the first time or two because the first time Pep did it was Sporting, I want to say. It was something like that where it was like, oh, haha, cool, John Stones at right back, City's going to win. And then it started being something where we saw it in games with like more stakes to it. I don't know about you guys, but that's when I started to be like, ooh, you know what? I never want to see this again.
I think with Stones at right back, it was fine against Sporting when he had Ruben Diaz and Laporte next to him. But when you put Stones at right back next to 79-year-old Fernandinho, who is going to lose every single foot race that he's in, it's like one player being out of position in a not ideal circumstance is fine in the back 4, but 2 out of the 4,
particularly when like again, as we saw against West Ham, the last thing you want Fernandinho having to do is like try to keep pace with a pacey striker. And Ollie Watkins is the definition of a pacey striker.
He's this much taller than the guy, right? I mean, like I said, and I truly love Fernandinho, and I don't appreciate that you called him old because I think we're the same age. But the fact of the matter is, like,
I was literally just Googling that. I was like, how old is he?
You may have a year on me. But, you know, like at the end of the day, he's going to lose that one-on-one to Ollie Watkins. Yeah. And then, you know, we were lucky that wasn't a goal as well.
Jay, you know, I also love you, but I will say that I don't expect you at your age to like keep pace with a 24-year-old like professional athlete.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I don't know, man. If he takes his shirt off, he feels like he can accomplish anything.
I was going to say, Jay is the most confident man because if someone had recorded me shirtless, I'm not putting that anywhere on there.
Oh, yeah. Let the internet have it. As soon as she took it, I was like, you know, once the match had ended or whatever, I was like, I have to put that online, don't I? And she was like, probably.
Yeah, that is great content.
I'm glad to have shared it here. It'll be exclusive to you guys.
Joe, how does I'm curious, how does this compare to 93-20 for you?
It's about as close as you can get, isn't it? Really, I mean, I think it's different because 93-20 was very much a case of that was us sort of shooting ourselves in the foot there, and we got into like going into the 90th minute being 2-1 down is about as bad as it can get. I almost feel like this was in a lot of ways more impressive because being 2-0 down with 15 minutes to go is pretty, you know, especially with what happened last week. So last week we went 2-0 down, and obviously all the stats came out about City haven't clawed back a 2-0 disadvantage since X or Y. And now we're at a point where we've done that twice in as many weeks. But I think to come back and actually win it in like such a short space of time in the way that we did, I think 93-20 will always be the best because we did it to United, which is always, no matter how much I despise Liverpool and everything about them, they'll never be on the same level as doing that to United was in 2012. But yeah, I think in terms of the way we did it, it's almost just as good, I think, but it just doesn't have that explosive. Gundogan scoring was big, but it wasn't the same explosive moment that Aguero was, if that makes sense.
I think for me, it's like, you know, we did win the league last year as well. Not winning the league this year would have really hurt, but it wasn't like, oh, that's year number 45 now. It's like, okay, we're up to 1 year where we haven't won the trophy. So for me, I kind of agree with you that like I think I felt similar levels of despondency when we went 2-0 down and just utter hopelessness, but I felt a lot more hope when we got one back against Villa than I did when we equalised against QPR. Weirdly,
QPR,
and I know
yeah,
that there was
yeah.
more time left, but we still had 2 more goals to make up. So yeah, for me, that's what
I think it was
kind of a weird thing.
It was just strange because for this game we didn't look like scoring at all at any point during the game, and then suddenly we get 3 in 5 minutes, and it's like, oh, what were we all worried about? And it's just crazy. I just don't understand how that's. But like I say, that's why I felt in particular, you know, even after the first half, I was very much like, this is over. Because I didn't, you get those games where City aren't scoring a goal. Like we've had it at Crystal Palace a couple of times this season. We've had we've had other games. Even West Ham last week, we didn't feel like we were going to score a goal, and this felt like another one of those games. And then when it got to the point where you've got to score 3 because I always knew Liverpool were never going to not win that game that they played today. It was always going to be a win for Liverpool. We'd always have to beat Aston Villa, and then to go from that feeling of we're not scoring a goal here to literally 5 minutes later, you're winning the league. It's a bit surreal, but it's eerily comparable to 93-20, considering it's been 10 years since the moment.
Before we talk about the goals, because I think there is something interesting about like the sense of how that game went in terms of like if we thought we were going to score. I want to highlight this comment we just got, which is Zinni in tears after placing the Ukrainian flag in the Prem Trophy will stick for me a long, long time. This was and we've seen people knowing that it was going to be their last trophy lift, like Vinny, like we knew, David, we knew, like we've had these moments, but I feel like this trophy lift was the most emotional. Like it felt like there were maybe it was just how drained we were at the end of this match, but like when Fernandinho lifted that trophy, I was about to start crying in the club.
Oh yeah,
that was Zinchenko for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of the stuff that won't get mentioned, fortunately, but like all I was thinking when we went 2-0 down, straight after making our third sub, was like the amount of stick that Jack Grealish was going to get because he didn't come on against Villa, his old club, and then they lost and they didn't win the title. I was like this is the media cycle for the next week. Like they don't even need to build up to the Champions League final. They'll just rip Grealish for 7 minutes.
I'm assuming neither of you've been watching the coverage while you've been doing this, but on Sky they just had they've sort of been filtering a lot of the squad in and out for interviews at the end of the game, and they had Jack Grealish who was actually really. It's honestly, if you can find it after this, please watch it. It's the best interview I've seen from a Premier League player so far. He just talks very honestly about his time at City and why he's personally felt like he's struggled and stuff like that. But he does mention he does say I don't even want to imagine the stick that I would have got from everyone who's not a City fan if I'd have not won this league.
I just enjoy that 2 minutes post the game being ended, he already was on Snapchat just with a beer, just housing it. I was like, let's go.
Legendary.
He is going to celebrate this more than anyone has ever celebrated anything.
And he's gonna have a great year next year. I mean, when Holland comes in, he's gonna know what to do in terms of ball placement better than with everybody's second year Pep. We've seen it a million times. Joe Cancelo, this it's gonna be great.
I do just want to highlight though. So Joe, you mentioned it felt like City weren't going to score. So obviously this will get adjusted down a little bit because the margins always do on these models. So City's expected goals were 3.59. Villa's were 0.32. So
I'm watching games wrong because it did not feel like City created that amount.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say is I don't feel like that model's right at all.
Would we have 24 shots?
24 shots. We had 3 big chances. We missed.
When did we have 24 shots?
I must have been watching the wrong game. Did we win today? Because I watching the wrong match.
Yeah, I mean, so many. I mean, the Villa keeper did an amazing job for what,
particularly for never having played for Villa before.
Right,
he's an on-loan guy that had never played for them.
Yeah,
ex-Evertonian as well.
I think a lot of those shots were volleys in that.
One side note that I did read about on Twitter afterwards is that so Everton lost 5-1 today, and the fourth went in like as Gundogan's goal score when it went in, and so apparently the Arsenal fans cheered, and then the Everton fans started celebrating as well. And the Arsenal fans were like, "What?"
Yeah, I'm trying to look and see what the missed big chance we had. Oh, Jesus had that. Yeah, in the 50th minute.
There was
I had Sterling Leon flashbacks when that didn't go in.
Oh,
I was like,
it wasn't as bad as that. It wasn't the easiest. Like, it wasn't like the ball was passed slowly along the ground and he just had to tap it in. He had to kind of judge the bounce if it was going to hit the defender.
I had Sterling Leon flashbacks on the third goal before it goes in. Because I saw the pass happening, and I was just like, if this doesn't go in, we're not winning this game.
Well, I was like, it was offside. I'm like convinced. I knew it wasn't, but I was convinced it was offside.
I was after the kickoff had gone past. I was like, they're still going to call this back. Like, there's no way it's
particularly after I had loudly celebrated Liverpool's like go-ahead goal the first time being called offside in the pub. I was like, this is what I'm going to get for celebrating that.
So what else? What did the Liverpool fans say after the match?
They mostly filtered out pretty quietly. We got some like good, like, hey, like great job. Like, so the nice thing, the pub I watch at, the Liverpool fans that watch there and the United fans that watch there are splinter cells of the Indianapolis like official supporters clubs for like both clubs, and they're the ones that like either A, tend to actually be from those cities, or B, are just like sports fans who like those teams but aren't gonna like, they don't like, not a single Liverpool fan that was at this pub will like shout this means more, because they're all like, no, I'm an American, or like, yeah, I'm from there, but like I'm not like insane. And so it's not the worst place to watch with rival fans. I will say that there was one Liverpool fan who I've never seen before who, when our third goal went in, he literally just like paid his bill, got up and walked out.
We've all been there.
We've all been there.
I wouldn't have wanted to stay because the pub has a tradition where like whatever team wins, their scarf goes up behind the bar as like the featured scarf. And so none of the Liverpool fans stayed for that. Which, fair enough. I wouldn't want to stay either. Yeah. There were a lot of very sad United fans still there, just drinking to commiserate losing to Crystal Palace.
Did the United fans celebrate when we scored? Like, were they those kind of United fans who were like desperate not to see Liverpool win?
That's interesting. I got texts from United fans saying like, we're in this together, and like thrilled about the goals. And I was like, this is crazy because I would never text you that. Never in a million years. Like, don't care. Like
that is a one-way relationship. Yeah, like that absolutely. Is a United fans hate Liverpool enough that they're still with us. We're like, no, we fucking hate both of you. Please no. Like, I don't know who I would choose between those two. If like
I'm just never going to do that.
Yeah, like I couldn't.
Liverpool.
How do they both lose? That's my question.
There's no.
So how many how many of you honestly were still confident that we would win that game at 2-0?
Well, it's not that. It's a part of that, and also like, I don't know about you guys, but like, I didn't convince myself that like Liverpool was a team of destiny or anything. But when goddamn Coutinho just has a ball fall to him and tap it in, at that point I'm like, yeah, okay, like there is some higher power at work here. That wants to like I had like you can't explain it when City finally make the sub that we had not been in communication over all this, but I think we all agree we wanted to see Fernandinho off and Stones and Laporte as the center back pairing or something like that. But like when they have two proper center backs in and both of them are this tall and Coutinho is this tall and a ball just bounces off of their heads and falls to him and he slots in, I'm like, at that point, it could have been anyone else. Anyone else on Villa.
So pre-shot XG, the Coutinho goal is the exact, or is just slightly better. So it's a 0.09 to 0.07 for Rodri's goal.
Okay.
And then it's actually a lower shot or XG post shot. So 0.3 to Rodri's 0.34. So like that goal is absurdly lucky to get. Hilariously though, it is actually more likely to be scored than their first goal, which was 0.12 to
these metrics need looking at.
I don't understand how a header going in from the edge of the 6-yard box can be like a low XG.
I think what it is because it's the way where Rodri's or where Ederson's positioned. He was better positioned to save the first one than he was like that second shot. As soon as it leaves Coutinho's foot, Ederson or it leaves Coutinho, like he can't save that. So it's a matter of if it's on target, it's going in. The first one, Ederson is in a position where he can dive to save it, and he doesn't.
Also, Cancelo is in a position where he definitely should get it and head it away and doesn't.
I saw that before it happened. Like that was massive Jamie Mackie flashbacks for me. I was like, they're going down. Like no one's challenging him. He's going down the left. There's Matty Cash. Here he comes. Yeah. Cancelo's not seen it.
This game was simultaneously everything that was great about football and everything that every City fan on the planet just absolutely did not need. Like it's just
that was the thing for me. Like at one point it was like earlier in the match, like maybe 45, 50 minutes on, and like Martin what's his face? Not Martin Tyler.
Arlo
White was like, oh, typical City, amazing passing. And I was like, typical City, we're going to fucking lose is what's going to happen. Like, don't say that. And then there was another moment later on, like once we were up 3-2, and he was like, and City have done like at 86th or 87th minute, like had won the title. And I was just like, this man is out here for blood.
Oh,
like,
so I was watching at the bar and I just like got a chance now to see it. But when Gundogan scored his second goal, I believe Arlo screamed something like his call was something like it's the goal that wins City the title. And my brother, that was in the 81st minute. Like the bar I was at, someone started pouring shots and I just looked at them and said, what are you doing? Don't do this. This is tempting fate right here. And, then they did one of the all-time greatest stand in the corner and just win corner kicks and throw in sequences that I've seen in my life, and it was pretty cool.
It was.
I will say that after the week that he has had, shouts to Gundogan for like proving his love for this club.
Truly.
Lifetime contract should be on the table for this guy. Like if he doesn't want to leave, he doesn't have to leave.
Perfect farewell to the club, isn't it? To win.
Yeah, that was.
Win
Shut up, Joe.
No, he's got to stay. I immediately after the match went on and ordered a Gundo jersey for next season.
Let's be serious about it for a second. Like there is a chance that Ilkay Gundogan's final game for Manchester City is going to be him coming on and through basically sheer force of will winning them a title. And like, I don't want this to be the last thing that we remember about him, but if it is, like, you're
a great way to go out.
Yeah.
To be fair. Yeah.
I don't know. I really hope he stays. I think he's going to be amazing with Holland if he stays. I think he's such a
Well, it's also just like one of those things, Jay, to your point of like amazing if Holland. It's like Ferna leaving is so much experience and so much kind of like veteran leadership. You don't want to also leave Gundogan, who's the vice captain,
right?
And like not have that around. To like
and like how many? We don't have too many guys who can play holding. Like Rodri is obviously amazing, but like if God forbid something were to happen and he can't play 50 matches next season, like you need
it is also interesting because the rumors that Calvin Phillips was the guy. Leeds stayed up. Like that's the thing that so if they thought they had a deal because Leeds thought they were going down and they were going to need cash, like suddenly like they kind of need Calvin Phillips for next season if they're going to stay in the Prem, unless Calvin Phillips is like, I want to go try to compete for something. And so like I don't know who the guy to replace Ferna is, but I don't know that it's Calvin Phillips anymore if they stay up.
Tyler Adams.
But I will say with Burnley going down, it sucks because that's 6 points a season for us. That's just gone.
I thought you'd be buzzing that Dwight McNeil must be on the market soon. Andrew, you're right. Everything's going to happen now. It's all going to. But actually, so you said you were in the bar with Liverpool fans. Were they outraged and disgusted when the referee blew his whistle before the 2 minutes of extra time should have been played?
You mean the 4 minutes or on their end?
So it was 4 minutes extra time. So I actually kind of agree with it because I had a text from someone who I know who is a Liverpool fan, and I actually kind of agree with it because I'd be pissed if it was the other way around. So the board went up for 4 minutes and no one kicks a ball until the 92nd minute because Ederson goes down with an injury that actually looks like he's absolutely fine. And
that's 100% tactical. Like that's Ederson being like, "Oh no, my hamstring."
100%. But Michael Oliver blows his whistle on the 94th minute, basically just like bang on, and doesn't add on that time that should have been. And I know that it doesn't matter to City or Villa because Villa don't care. Like City obviously don't care.
Villa literally couldn't change their outcome. Like their spot on the table was the exact same if they won, lost, or drew. So like,
yeah.
Why would they?
I'm with you, Joe. I think that's fair. I mean, I would have been if it were the other way around and they would have taken away those 2 minutes of ours. It would have been.
But also, we know that that's just a thing that doesn't happen. Like, rarely do refs account for delays during stoppage time and like how long they let it go. Also, they blew the whistle before the stoppage time in the first half was up. So, it was like 10 seconds left on a 2-minute stoppage time in the first half, and Michael Oliver was like, "Oh, I'm going to blow this whistle." So it is how it works. I don't love it, but also like every solution I've ever heard said about it makes me very nervous that you're going to end up with a sport much more accustomed to what Jay, Bill, and I are used to of like constant stoppages and commercials. So I would rather we don't fix this problem.
Yes, as a general rule of thumb for sport and other things, Americans ruin everything. So don't listen to anyone who has an accent similar to myself or my friends on here who are not Joe.
But it definitely was I was like, just blow the whistle, please. Like, just blow the whistle. That's all I want. Like, Mike Oliver, please blow the whistle.
I mean, Gabriel Jesus was just bodying people in that corner.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
It's like you could see his thighs pulsating. Like
that man is going to be bruised.
Amazing.
I literally shouted. I was like, Gabby, remember what you learned in prison? Because if anyone who's listening doesn't know, he grew up playing in a prison courtyard in a Brazilian favela. So, like, that man, if there was one man who can hold the ball in the corner to win us a title, it's Gabby Jesus.
Yeah. Gosh, I hope he stays too. All right. I gotta jump, but it's been fun hanging.
Good seeing you, Jay. Thanks for joining.
So,
Joe, do
I cannot wait
have
for
celebration
plans? Leave.
Do you want him to leave?
After today, I think he's just.
I don't know where he fits. I don't know where he fits is the problem.
Exactly.
Like, if he wants to leave, I'm cool with him leaving, but I would love for him to stay.
Yeah, I think it's just today was very frustrating. I think there are a lot of, particularly in that first half, there are a lot of positions he got into where he could have either created something for someone else or taken a shot earlier. Call me crazy
though, but maybe the stuff he could have created is also a little bit on the team that was around him. Like, I'm not convinced that, like, I think if you play what we end the game with, I don't know that it's as nervy as it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, Bernardo was basically playing DM, and I don't know that we needed him to.
Yeah.
But Gundogan was, like, breaking down their low block, which we absolutely needed at that point, obviously. But it just, to me, it felt like, I get your point. Like, Gabby blew a couple chances, or at least like could have done better. But like on the list of people who like I was frustrated at halftime, Gabby was like not even in the top 5.
I think the thing with it's like Sterling. Like, Sterling will get into the position to have so many more chances than everybody else, but because of that, he blows a lot more chances than everybody else because he has more. And the nature of being a forward is that if you don't score when the chances come along, you are, by definition, a frustrating player, and you are doing, you're the one who's missing the opportunity to put a goal on the board. And I think Jesus has just got he's had a good last month or so where he's like basically since it's been confirmed that he's basically on his way out, he's suddenly become a pivotal part of this squad and must play every single game before the end of the season. But I think 8 goals all season tells you everything about Gabriel Jesus.
If you both had to choose, and one of Mahrez or Jesus leaves this summer,
Jesus.
God. It's tough because I think Mahrez is better, and I think the thing that he does is like I think you can, I don't want to say replace Jesus with guys in the squad, but I think his pressing, his work rate, all those sorts of things are things that you can like get from other dudes. But I'll say Mahrez just because he's older, and that hurts very badly because I don't Like I think Mahrez is other than today when it was one of those games where Mahrez just like didn't have it. Like I think he's an exceptional player.
And when the problem with Mahrez though is when he doesn't have it, he gives us nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did seem to me like I haven't seen literally anything. I walked into my front door from the bar and then opened the computer up and decided I was going to do this. But like you can always tell those games where they decide we're going to attack down that left channel and like use the central area to just kind of get the ball out there. When they do that sort of thing, those seem to me to be the games where Mahrez, like, if he's not involved from the jump, he runs the risk of getting into a bit of a malaise. And I think that happened today. I think they decided what they wanted to do. Like they decided that we've seen Foden, tear Matty Cash apart. We're going to go for that again. Where you have Cancelo over on that side instead of John Stones. We're going to keep doing that. And I think that when they do that in that first opening 10 minutes, Mahrez just isn't really involved in the game. Like, it's a bit of a bad habit of his. But I think that's something that helps Gabriel Jesus' case, because like when he is not involved in a game, he is still finding ways to influence it. Like
I was going to say, I've been saying, I'm fine with Gabby leaving because it seems like he wants to, and he deserves to go be the starting striker somewhere if that's what he wants. Like I will never wish him ill will. He's done so much for this club. Like he scored the goal that gets us 100 points. It pivotal today. If he wants to leave, like no ill will. I would never want him booed or like jeered at the Etihad if he leaves and returns, whatever.
Nah.
However, I will also say, of the two players that I look at and I'm like, who could play better with Haaland? And I know that Mahrez like cut his teeth playing with Jamie Vardy, who like there's a little bit of Jamie Vardy about Erling Haaland on the transition. I actually think Jesus offers more as a right winger with Haaland in the team than Mahrez does, because Mahrez is going to want to cut inside, and that's just not like necessarily what we maybe need with Haaland in the team.
Yeah.
And so like if Jesus like reverses course, because it seems like he wanted Arsenal, but like he's definitely not going to want Arsenal who are playing in Europa League. So like if he wants to stick around,
I think he's going to have to. I think realistically, Gabriel Jesus is going to have to accept that step down if he wants to be a regular starter somewhere. Like I just don't think he's good enough. Like say, who else is looking for a striker at the moment? Like Bayern Munich, he's not that level. Madrid.
Hey, Real Madrid are looking for a star player.
He's definitely not that. I mean, La Liga might be shit, but he's definitely not that level. I just don't think he's on that. I don't think he's on the level where. Basically, he's lucky to be at Manchester City. I don't think he's even a Manchester City. He had the potential to be when he started, but I think that as much as he's played really well in this last month or so, I don't think that you can honestly say that he is enough of a consistent, regular goal scorer to be in the front line of a genuine like top 5 European club.
I think if he goes to any other league, that is not true, but I get your point for the Premier League. I think if he were to go to La Liga or La Liga, Serie A, or Ligue 1, like he is going to wreck face.
Well, even if he stays at Manchester City and plays, and he's a starting striker for the whole season, plays every game, he'll probably end the year with 15 to 20 Premier League goals because when he scores, he'll usually score in batches. He'll score in this last month he scored 6 goals or something like that. He'll do that and then not score for 2 or 3 months and then just do it again and again and but I think if you want a consistent performer, which Manchester City obviously can't afford to carry a player who won't perform like that for long periods of time, then he's gonna. I think an Arsenal is probably, even in the Europa League, is probably perfect for him. There's not a huge amount of pressure on him. I think Arsenal have kind of made some peace with the level that they're at now, and just that they've got a building job. I think Jesus can maybe fit into a club like that rather than a club like Manchester City where the pressure is on. And he talks about the pressure he puts on himself a lot. And I think being at a club where every miss or every opportunity to take the lead is kind of a pretty big deal when you're chasing a title.
I mean, I do think that he could be the missing piece for an Arsenal Champions League kind of qualification campaign. Like I think if he plays at Arsenal, I think they might if he had been at Arsenal this season, I think they qualify. Because all Arsenal was missing was kind of like someone to play at the 9 that actually knew what they were doing.
Well, they had Eddie Nketiah for the last month or so, haven't they? So I think I think Gabriel Jesus is obviously an upgrade on that.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously he knows Arteta. Like, I think it would be a good. I mean, I do think the table's pretty interesting, kind of for next season. And when you look at like where people are at, West Ham drops to the Europa Conference League, which I think could maybe be good for them because their squad is not so deep that they could handle a Europa League or a Champions League campaign. But like, they add a couple pieces this summer. Who knows? Like, I don't think they're losing Declan Rice because no one's going to pay 125 million for Declan Rice. No.
He's Harry Kane himself there.
You got United and Arsenal in Europa League, which I think could be interesting with Arteta, like kind of having something to work with the European football, but it's not the Champions League. You got Eric Ten Hag coming in with like, who knows what United's going to look like because you could bin off half that squad.
They're going to be awful still. We can all like everyone loves Eric Ten Hag, and I wanted Ten Hag to be the guy to replace Guardiola, if not like a Nagelsmann or something like that. But yeah, United is still going to be shit next year, no matter what. Like one summer is never going to change.
You can't fix you can't fix all their issues in one summer. And then you got Spurs just beat the ever living piss out of Norwich to qualify, even though Arsenal win. And then you have Chelsea, Liverpool, City. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that's the top four next season again. Particularly if Spurs if they spend any money at all this summer, Conte at Spurs, I think is going to look like second summer. I think they're going to look great. And then you got, Leicester in 8th, they underperformed. Maybe Rodgers doesn't come back around. So that could be interesting. Brighton right behind them. Who knows what Graham Potter does? Apparently both as Joe, I think you tweeted out that McAtee, or you retweeted that McAtee is expected to go on loan.
Yeah.
Maybe McAtee and Delap both go on loan, which I think could be interesting. And maybe they go to Brighton, which I don't think would be the worst move. I guess they can't both go there because we're limited to one player team now. But I would love to see Delap at Brighton. I think he'd be great for them because they need a striker. Maybe McAtee to Palace if Conor Gallagher gets called back to Chelsea. Like, that could be a move. Newcastle, they're going to be a threat next season. I don't worry about Wolves. Palace under Vieira's second season. Like, I love Vieira. I'm happy he's done well. Brentford survive. Leeds survive, which I'm super stoked about as American, as I'm sure you are too, Bill. Jesse Marsh.
Honestly, I don't know if you saw, but it's basically confirmed that Brendan Aronson is going there because they're staying up. So let's go.
We're gonna make them
It was a win-win today. It was a win-win today for me because obviously Leeds, either Burnley go down and we're just rid of Burnley, which for obvious reasons, or Leeds go down and it's hilarious. So it was a win-win either way. So Leeds staying up is probably the lesser of two evils. I don't know. I kind of want Leeds to go down I kind of want Leeds to go down because their fans are still so like hell bent on Bielsa being like the greatest thing that's ever happened to football. And,
I thought you were going to say they're so hell bent on thinking they're still a big club.
Oh well, they are that as well. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, because that's just this was a discussion I had with some of the guys from the City Report pod, but like, because it's now a global game, football's cycle moves faster. And I'm sorry, Leeds and Nottingham Forest, but Bournemouth are a bigger club than you now because they spent much longer in the modern Premier League than either of you have. So sorry. But my thought on it is like, one, the rumors that Company wanted to take over Burnley was not something I wanted.
No,
frankly, they stayed up.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's going to do well as a manager, but of all the clubs, I don't want him to manage a club I despise that much. And then also, like, I agree with you, Joe. I don't like I don't like Leeds fans, but like, I like a lot of the Leeds players. I liked Bielsa and I love Jesse Marsh. So like, I don't necessarily want to see them go down. And I do think a Premier League with them in it is better compared to like, I think Burnley leaving the Premier League, like, we lose nothing. I think had Leeds gone down, there is something lost. And I mean, I would say the same, actually, all three relegation teams this year. I will not miss at all.
What do you, so obviously you guys are from the land of the free and the brave. What do you think
debatable on both of those, but
what do you obviously they were mentioning on Sky afterwards, and obviously a lot of people were when Burnley went a couple of goals down. The way that Burnley have been bought with the old Glazer special leveraged buyout. They're fucked now, aren't they? Like they're not coming back up anytime soon. Like they've been American as
I can't imagine too that like they bought some good talent. Like there's some good talent on that squad, but I can't imagine a lot of it sticks around. Like I don't think Weghorst wants to play the champ or in the championship.
No.
Cornet definitely doesn't want to play championship. I think Dwight McNeil's on the move.
I think Tarkowski's gone on a free.
Yeah, Tarkowski.
He's out of contract. Yeah.
Like they have this dual thing where they have some very talented players that could probably help get them back up, but I don't think any of them will want to stick around. And then they also have a bunch of players they've relied on to stay in the Premier League for as long as they have that are all too old or leaving on freeze because they didn't want to pay them. Like I think like Burnley could pull a Leeds where like they don't get up out of the championship and they actually get relegated.
But I think that'll be. But
hell yeah, we're still going, Joe Ricci. Howard not come on with COVID.
I think the Burnley thing though is more the point. Like Gary Neville in particular was making the point that their problem isn't their squad or their manager or anything like that. It's the fact that it's their owners. Like the money that they make from parachute payments is just going to go straight into their pockets. Like any player sales are probably going to just go straight into the owner's pocket. Like they were probably buying what they thought was a relatively stable Premier League club.
Okay, I don't know what Joe means by this. Who the fuck is Ballo?
Oh my god, yeah. Have you not seen the goal?
No.
Who is this? Scored, but I didn't see
Balotelli.
Oh, Balotelli. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, who is Ballo?
Who else would Joe be at? What other Ballo could Joe possibly be asking?
Wait, who's Balotelli at now? Is it Marseille?
I don't even know the name of the club.
He plays in Turkey for Adana Demirspor.
Okay, so not a real team.
Apologies to anyone who might be listening to this. He scored
5 goals.
He scored 5 goals today. Wait, he scored 5 goals today or 5 on the season?
He scored 5 goals today, and the fifth one, I think he did 17 step overs before.
Joe, Andrew, I have dropped it into the chat.
I'm gonna have to
sweet death.
Yeah, wait until you see it. It is
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 step overs.
Okay. Oh my god. Oh, and he's got the Rabena. Wow.
Yeah.
That is the most Mario Balotelli goal that has ever been scored. More so than if he'd scored that back heel in the MLS All-Star game when Mancini wanted to murder him.
So when we went 2-0 down today, I was immediately thinking. So when you mentioned before when Pep was sat on the bench just looking like this is the worst moment of my career. I was thinking, all you've got to do now, Pep, is just get up and just start hurling abuse at all the players like Mancini did back in 93-20. Just literally, just on the sidelines, every single one of them. Just, I don't know, like, just
F you.
Yeah. Just disgusting abuse at every single one of them. And that's how you win. And that's how you win the Premier League. That's how you come back.
I would love to know, like, obviously we don't have All or Nothing recording this season.
They're at Arsenal, so that's going to be a great time for all of us.
It's going to be as good as the Spurs one was as well. But I will say, like, I know, so they recorded a bunch of stuff for Company leaving because they knew that Company was leaving beforehand. I really hope they did some kind of documentary for Ferna leaving because I'm not saying he's as important as Company, but like he is a big figure. I about lost it at his tweet last night where he retweeted his first tweet about like his first day at City. And he was like, right tweet, just change one word. And I was like, oh man, like that's not cool. But I will say, like, I would love to know what the locker room was like at halftime.
Can I
like,
just?
I want to.
Oh, go on. No, you keep going.
I was gonna say, I want to know, like, was it? There's that famous scene, and I can't remember who we were playing in the All or Nothing season, but where Guardiola just comes in, he's like, "Sit down, shut up, and sit down." Like, was it that, or was he just like, "Guys, you can do this"? Like you.
So. I was just going to say, I don't know if any of you are on Twitter at the moment, but Stephen McInerney has got pictures on the pitch with Foden and Guardiola from these posts.
Oh, did Stephen storm the pitch, or did he actually have pitch side access?
He was there. He was there, wasn't he? Doing the City.
Yeah, I know. I'm just wondering, did his badge get him on the pitch, or did he storm the pitch?
God, I hope so, because otherwise he's about to get some criminal charges put against him for this invasion.
Oh, this is all post game, so he definitely had.
Yeah. And also for
he wasn't.
And also with the boys, the McAtee, Delap.
I was gonna say
Riley.
Delap. Is that Egan Riley? Is that Borges? Fourth one? I don't recognize the fourth guy.
Potentially, he's the only one I don't recognize.
Yeah. That was definitely. I mean, I've gotten lots of images from certain people who definitely got on the pitch that should not have been on the pitch, and I'm not going to disclose them so that no charges can be brought against them.
It's fine. No one pitch invasions are only a problem when you hurl abuse at Patrick Vieira.
I will say so. The statement
Olsen.
that we got brought in is that apparently Robin Olsen was like accosted and assaulted.
So you'll probably, I think it'll go around. The footage will go around. They showed it on Sky Sports. I think assault is a very, very, very generous phrase that Aston Villa have used. I think it's one you'll see it for yourselves, and I'm sure there might be. Look, if Robin Olsen's got like a massive cut on his head and he's bleeding or something like that, then I will happily retract everything that I say here. But if you see it, he just gets a few guys like in his face and gets a shove at some point. It's not really anything.
I'm looking at it right now.
You don't want to see it, but it's like, I don't know. He
gets shoved one time from the back, like lightly. And then a bunch of City supporters help get him off the pitch. Like somebody else just trips someone. Yeah, like, okay. I feel like people are taking everything together.
Yeah, it's just I think it's because this comes after the week we just had, where obviously Billy Sharp gets himself the head.
I will say, like, if you're going to storm a pitch, just leave the opposition people alone. There's no reason to interact with them.
I don't understand the mindset of someone who runs onto a pitch and their first instinct is like, right, the opposition goalkeeper's going to get it here. This is what I'm.
Yeah. Particularly like Robin Olsen, who's he on loan from? Like, he has not, like, it's not like he's a United player, like has some like ill will against City. The guy that tried to give it to Vieira is the most insane human being I've ever met.
If you were putting yourself in a position for a soccer player to kick you, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, come on, brother. That's
storm the pitch in celebration. Yeah. And literally, I mean celebration is in like no ill will, just pure happiness. Like, and obviously, because like part of my thing is like, I think there's so many things that we're heading the right direction towards in football, of like safe standing coming back in, potentially like alcohol being allowed in English stadiums again, which like as an American, like we have alcohol in all of our stadiums because like people don't like fight each other. And it's like, there's so many good things that could come of this, but it also feels like there's this undercurrent of like fans who like want bad things to happen. And then also people who are like, oh, Liverpool City are in a rivalry because nobody wants to stab each other. It's like, how about we just like not have any of that and just like all the positives?
Yeah. I think the instance like this, as much as I think this particular one is pretty minor, but instance where it's even a talking point are, they're just doing nothing but sort of putting the whole conversation about football fans a few steps back, and it's just not what what anyone wants. It's not what anyone needs, because I think football fans have been pretty in the main unfairly treated for decades.
Well, also it doesn't help that all of the outlets that we expect, like, they're going to want to run with this because we ruined their ability to talk about honestly, a quadruple for the next 7 days.
Part of me does think that's a little bit why Aston Villa have made a thing out of this, because City had to issue an official statement about this in the middle of the Premier League trophy celebrations. Like what? Like, I don't know. I think they've made a mountain out of a molehill for this particular one. But if you're running to a football pitch for any reason other than to just celebrate with other fans and enjoy the fact that you're on the Etihad's pitch, which most people never ever will, then I can't help you.
Extremely random aside. Did you guys see the quote that Robert Lewandowski's agent just gave?
No,
I did not.
I apologize for going way out of it here on this, but he wants to leave this summer. None of us care about the money. The truth is that he hasn't felt respected by the board since a few months now. Bayern lost Robert not only as a footballer and as a person. basically anything happens with City, and Bayern is one of the loudest clubs about how City are ruining football, I take a little extra joy in bad things happening to them. So I felt I would get that out.
I take about as much joy out of that as I did Tebas and Florentino Perez losing their minds about Mbappe not showing up, because that means Real Madrid lost out on Haaland because they thought they were getting Mbappe, and then they didn't get Mbappe. And now, like, I really want them to pull a Barcelona under Laporta where they like scramble and
200 million for Darwin Nunez.
Well, no, I feel like the move. So the rumor is that Richarlison's their guy. They're gonna like way overpay Everton for Richarlison.
Is this Barcelona?
Like, no, Real Madrid.
Oh my god!
Because Real Madrid. So if you're not aware of this, Joe, you'll enjoy this. So Real Madrid, in order to try to compete with PSG, they sold a quarter of their stadium operation profits to a U.S. investment bank. So basically, like a quarter of all money they make off their stadium. So like ticketing, food, merch, all that stuff goes to now a U.S. bank.
Why?
For 350 million euros, so that they could put together a compensation package to bring in Mbappe and like not violate FFP. And then Mbappe didn't come, and they've still sold that, and so now they're just sitting on this cash with nothing to do.
And what's Tebas's issue again? Like, what's his problem? Like, I don't know. It's like, how is this not
because like La Liga, much like the Bundesliga, is actually like just a league that exists to promote two teams and not the rest of them. And so when Barcelona is Barcelona right now, and then Real Madrid does not have any superstars except Benzema, who's like
and he's also like a very quiet, very like he's not a guy who is demands attention the way that an Mbappe would.
Although please check out his legal issues and controversies page on Wikipedia if you want a bit of a good time.
Yeah, indeed. I will say, you know what? Like, look, if Lewandowski wants to leave and like it's not going to cost a lot of money, if he wants to
can we get back to Richarlison going to Madrid? Like, where's this come from? Like, so
apparently.
So he went to Watford for what? I don't know how much that was.
Yeah.
But then he made Everton pay 50 million for him. Like, now Madrid.
So Madrid apparently is eyeing 3 people to bring in as a forward this summer, and it is Richarlison, Salah, and Mane.
All right, 2 of those sound legit, and then one of them is Richarlison. Like,
but like, also here's the thing: Richarlison, like, at least is young, so like maybe he has more to do. But like, to get either of those other 2 out of Liverpool, you're gonna wait. Like, I mean, on the one hand, I don't want Liverpool having more money, but also it would be comically hysterical if Real Madrid like repeat the Hazard thing where they pay God knows how much money to get Salah or Mane, and then it never works out for them.
Well, Mane to Bayern has been a thing for a few weeks, no?
Yeah, well, I think so. He and Gnabry have the same agent, and so a lot of people have said it's the agent trying to like extort leverage against both clubs to get new deals. Look, depending on how much Lewandowski would cost, I'll take Lewandowski and Haaland as a rotating strike force.
Yeah.
I get.
I feel like though, if he does leave, he's going to Barcelona. Like that's the thing.
But then But then this Barcelona still find themselves in a situation where they've got, because obviously Traore's going back from a loan. There's a couple of others who they've got in who are like obviously Aubameyang's probably on pretty significant wages, not going anywhere anytime soon. How do they? I mean, obviously, Lewandowski's contract's not up this summer, is it? He's still got a year left.
No,
so
you're going to have to pay a transfer fee.
So they have to buy him, and obviously Bayern might.
Hey, look, if they want some cash, we can buy Frankie De Jong off them. They need some cash.
Hey, I'll take that. Is it how reliable? Because the thing is, was it Gerard Romero, the guy who said that he's going to United a couple of weeks ago?
That I feel like that link when they said like, oh, City had pulled out, like he's going to United, like that's fully like died down again. Like I don't know what City are going to do at midfield. Who knows?
I think we go pretty cheap personally. I think we go for the Enzo Fernandez or the.
I would love Enzo Fernandez.
I will once again mention that Mr. Basics of Football is available on a free.
This is an agenda you've been pushing for a while.
It is, and sure. I want to be 100% clear. I don't want him. because I don't think he's particularly good. It would just be very funny.
That much is true.
Yeah, I'd rather they play Lavia 800 minutes than
if there was a Everton player we were signing this summer, he is not in the top like 3 or 4 that I want to sign off of Everton.
Richarlison's number 1, obviously.
God no. Not that. I mean, if we hadn't been able to secure Holland, maybe, but like no, I would rather.
Even then, no.
Even then, Calvert-Lewin's the guy.
No,
I mean Calvert-Lewin is the number 1.
I was gonna say Richarlison just annoys me way too much. Like,
no, see my top 4 from Everton, it's Dele Alli, Donny van der Beek.
Oh God.
Whatever's left of Alan. It's that team is like,
how did they not get relegated?
But they have no money to invest unless they sell Richarlison, who's their only Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin.
Hey, they might still go down if Leeds and Burnley their inquiry to the Premier League goes anyway.
I would have trusted Leeds lawyers. I would have trusted Leeds lawyers a little bit more than Burnley's lawyers. I don't imagine, but yeah, I think this is a good place to wrap up. We're going on an hour and a half now. We'll put this out as a podcast. If you only caught the back half of this, the people that are currently watching, I want to shout out Shades of Blue podcast, Joe Butters, Jay Wolf, Bill DeFilippo, Joe Ricci was in the comments, but he does have COVID, so shouts to Joe. Hope he's feeling better because it is his 1-year wedding anniversary. So shouts to him and his wife, and then John Ashley. As always, this has been Main Road Ramble. You can find us on social media at Main Road Ramble. I'll be putting everyone who joined us, their socials on the podcast. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us this season. It has been an absolute delight. City, once again, for the 4th time in 5 years, are the Premier League champions. So I say with all seriousness, let's go City, and we'll see you next season.